It's Elite POV, coming live to your area on twitch.tv.
Let's fucking go!
We are your number one place for everything in the world of all elite wrestling. And just remember, when you're with us, you'll always be elite.
Yo, it's clear to see when you open up your feed that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. We bring the heat to your screen every week, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV. So understand every time that we speak that ain't nobody better than Elite POV. Our 3 letters is all you'll ever need, cause ain't nobody better than Elite POV.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Elite POV, right here live on Twitch. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's podcast time with myself and the one and only, the draw, 6-star, Jacky R. How's it going, Jacky?
Going.
It's going.
It's going.
Yeah,
It's been a hell of a last 7 days. Your girl is riding high and happy, despite the fact that she needed an extra dose of caffeine today that she never got.
Oh,
But I'm feeling good.
you know,
Feeling real good.
I actually had my dose of caffeine like not too long ago. Actually, I had another one of those, not the vanilla one, but those Coke coffees. Man, I'm a little bit of addicted. It's like my.
I have yet to investigate these Coca-Cola coffees.
I don't know if
I'm
they're
not
Canadian or
sold
not.
on the idea. No, they have them here in the
Okay.
States. I've just not been brave enough to try it. The idea of soda or pop, as you call it,
Thank you. It's pop.
and coffee is just like, that's a little bit of overkill to me.
Speaking of, I've noticed a lot of northern states, specifically in like the Dakotas and Wisconsin, they say pop as well over there. By the
Yes,
way,
because they're trying to beat Canada. You know what? Just take them. Go. They're yours.
Maybe we will. And you guys can have Quebec because we don't want them. Anyways, yes, guys, welcome to Elite POV. But yes, Coke with coffee. If you guys see it, try it. I highly suggest it. Really freaking good. I had the dark one not too long ago, so it was more of a like the vanilla one. You get that vanilla flavoring, but the dark one is like more of a pure coffee tasting one. There's more coffee taste to it, which I can drink coffee black, so to me it's fine. If y'all aren't a coffee, like, I'd say if you're on the level of a coffee drinking black coffee or like a 1 cream 1 sugar, you'd be okay with it. Anything higher than that, like these crazy lunatics, these sociopaths that order like 5 cream and 5 sugar in their shit.
Ugh.
I hear that all the time. I swear to God, when I go to a coffee shop, I hear some people that do that. Like, can I get a quadruple double? And it's like, do you want more coffee with your cream and sugar, ma'am? Like, are they putting a shot of coffee in your cup of cream?
No, I put there's no sugar for me in my coffee.
Oh.
Little dash of cream.
That's
no
what I've been
sugar.
switching to. Like my home Keurig machine. I just buy the creamers, but I have to buy non-dairy because dairy doesn't sit well with me. So I've been buying like the lactose-free crap, but still good. I just seen Starbucks just released a non-dairy version of like the creamers you can buy for home. But anyways, this is not a coffee podcast. This is the Elite POV.
It could be.
I mean, we could. I could talk about coffee all freaking day. All freaking day I can talk about coffee, so that's not a problem for me. But we're not here to talk about coffee. People want to hear us talk about AEW, all elite wrestling. And wow, what an episode of Dynamite we had this week. Very exciting. We're on the road to Forbidden Door, which literally I'll be in Chicago a week Sunday. Just nuts how fast it's come. And we're already looking at almost. It looks like we're gonna be without a couple of top names, which is fine. But I think they're done a good job with booking it with what they have so far, which we'll get into later. But yeah, Dynamite was a great episode. A little bit of news to go over first before we hit the Dynamite train. I wish I could say it was good news.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough news week, I think.
In the whole wrestling world, to be honest. Like, I know this is an AEW podcast, but wow, what the hell? This tornado of not even a sharknado, a shitnado the last couple of days in the wrestling world, man. My God.
It's like hold my beer weeks in the in the wrestling world, unfortunately, but that's
Like,
how it goes sometimes.
like it's like Monday. It's like the person that's in charge of the wrestling incidents on Twitter, like how many days since. It's like he had his hand on the you couldn't even get by 2 hours into Monday, and it's like, well, let me put it back at 0. Anyways, yeah, nuts. And AW wise, it didn't look great at all. So originally the match for Dynamite was supposed to be the Hardys, Jurassic Express, and Young Bucks triple threat ladder match for the tag team belts. Something happens that the Hardys can't be in this match. So Jeff Hardy was arrested, and it's a very big shame, and it's sad too. It's mostly sad.
It is, yes.
That it's happening again, because this man, obviously with his history of substance abuse, of alcohol abuse, he really does desperately need help. So this was really unfortunate to hear that he was arrested. Which the scariest thing I heard, Jacky, was when I read into the reports of what happened in the pullover, I was like, oh man, this is very scary. So to put everyone into perspective here, he was basically quadruple over the legal amount for driving while intoxicated. And it was like a 0.2 something. Because of the way Jeff Hardy is now in his life health-wise, they said if he had hit 0.4, he most likely would have died. So he was the video was hard to watch as well, but my man was close to 0.4, and he possibly could have died. And just the fact that he was on a highway, and there was confusing reports too. There was the initial report saying he was pulled over at like midnight. Then like the video comes out and he was pulled over at like 10:30 in the morning. So I'm like, oh my God, so is he drinking how much was he drinking? Because that was 10:30 in the morning and he was plastered, and they showed like the highway he got pulled over on, and there was like transport trucks blaring by and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, like I was.
It's incredibly tough to watch. And just knowing the history, and addiction is rough. And, we've talked about this previously on the show in different contexts, obviously with Mox's situation when he was entering rehab. We try to be very sensitive with these types of subjects because, addiction is a disease, and, it's unfortunate when people find themselves in repetitious behavior. You never want to see anybody find themselves in these situations, especially when you have somebody that has multiple DUIs, because not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're potentially putting other people in danger. And that's when these situations become very difficult to stomach. And you don't want to see anybody in these situations. It's just really rough. And you think about potential, and how many times are you going to find yourself in these situations, and how many opportunities is somebody going to be given and find themselves right back in the same situation that they were in not that long ago. He needs help.
Yeah.
He needs help. And I think that help has to come from a place where he's actively seeking it for himself. And I hope that he gets to a place where to take the wrestling out of the equation. It's not about him getting healthy so that he can come back to the ring. If he never gets back into the ring again, so be it. Mm-hmm. If he's healthy just for himself and for his family, and he never wrestles another match in his life again, mm-hmm. then it's all worth it. You just never want to see somebody in a situation where they can potentially, have their life ended, or potentially end somebody else's life. So for the sake of himself and everybody around him, I just sincerely hope that he's able to get proper help and change his life. That's all I could say.
100% well said, and it's true. I've had family members and someone obviously close to me, my brother, who's dealt with substance abuse in the past, and I can't tell you how many times that not only us, but like other family members have tried to reach out to him for help and tried to help him. We tried, and I'm telling you guys, I kid you not, we tried for about 8 to 10 years to try to help him. And it gets to a point where you can do so much to help him that he's going to want to have to help himself. Like, he needs to be the one to say, like, okay, I need to help myself and I need to do something about it. You can only do so much. And I believe it, that he's had so much help in his entire life with his family and friends that have tried to help him that it's gone to a point. You see in the statement that AW puts out on behalf of Tony Khan, where this is what it was, quote, we were able to resume contact with Jeff Hardy this afternoon. AW does not condone Jeff's alleged behavior. We've made it clear to Jeff that we'll assist him in getting treatment for substance abuse issues, which he has indicated that he's open to receiving. In the interim, he is suspended without pay, and he can only return to AW upon a successful completed treatment and maintaining his sobriety. So, again, it's almost close to saying, like, you know, we'll help you, but Jeff, you're going to have to show us that you've helped yourself. You went and seeked out that help. You've proven your sobriety. You've proven that you've gone through the treatment before you can even come back and doing the thing that you love, which is professional wrestling. So it is sad. It is unfortunate. Thank God no one was seriously hurt or worse. And it's just tough to see because, you know, like the Hardys were here, and regardless of what you think of the Hardys out there, there's a lot of fans. They're massive. They have a massive fan base, especially Jeff. Jeff has an incredible fan base that, you know, It does suck for them. Like they believe in him so much, and they've gone through all this with him in the past that, you know, when this happens again, it's tough to watch. Like, say your favorite wrestler, like you've seen your favorite wrestler do this time and time again. It's tough to keep watching and supporting him when, you know, this stuff happens over and over again. And they're going to continue to support him, which is 100% what they should be doing. It's just, you know, it's very, very tough to see if you're a fan of Jeff Hardy. So, again, regardless if you're a fan of them or not, they are in a really good place here. And according to reports, we don't really know how true they were. The reports were that they were going to win the tag team titles. So that's even, you know, that kind of sucks even more for fans of the Hardys that were looking for them to win the AW tag team titles before they ride off into the sunset. So that might even happen anymore, which is sad as well, I think.
And you know, again, it's so much bigger than wrestling. This is a human being with a family that he needs to be healthy for. So I hope that people are able to objectively look at this and see it from that perspective and take all of that out of the equation and just understand that he needs to be healthy and clear-headed. And if he doesn't come back, and if that's what if he needs to be removed from this environment in order to maintain his sobriety, then, you know, he had a hell of a career and he made a hell of a legacy for himself, and let him be able to stand on that and let that be enough, and let him just live a healthy lifestyle from here. But we wish him, you know, nothing but the best, and hopefully he's able to complete this treatment program and go on with the rest of his life and be healthy and sober.
100%. So we're going to move out of that. Let's hop on the positivity train here and talk about it in incredible episode of Dynamite, which before actually we get into Dynamite, though, I do want to mention that it's a little bit of news. It's not really much news. There's been more reports of... So the reports are, this is not confirmed, so do not, guys, take this as confirmed, and I'm not taking it as confirmed because we're both holding out here, and the Elite POV team's holding out. We're hoping that doesn't happen at this venue, but talent within AW are under the impression, this is the report, under the impression that All Out is going to be still at the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates this year, which the reason why it sucks is the horror stories that I've read after, and I believe, was it Phil or Ant that actually experienced this and an All Out, both of them did. And
well, I think they both went to All In.
Okay,
in the original show. Yeah. So
the area sucks. There's nothing around there. I even showed Jacky the map right before the show. There's literally 2 hotels within the vicinity before you
It's
have
like
to travel.
freaking tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
So we're hoping that it's not. So we can't take it with confirmation that it's going to be at Now Arena, because I was talking to Jacky before the show here. I'm like, if it's going to be at Hoffman Estates, they could have announced it by now. There's no holdout. There will be no sense in waiting till United Center to do it at Hoffman Estates. They would have already announced it at All Out, Double or Nothing. They would have announced it and then focused on Forbidden Door, and then, start focusing more on All Out right after Forbidden Door. But they can do the United Center. And I think in the back of my head, my slight gut feeling is it's going to be at the United Center. And that's why they're waiting till Forbidden Door to announce that they're going to be back at the United Center in a few months. And they're going to, announce it in the arena to people like, look, guys, be back here in a couple months. We're going to be back here for All Out. There's going to be maybe Tony Khan come out and do his like extra hype promo that, like maybe he's going to promise like Okada's going to be there or something like that. But
Just give us the foot stomp.
I told Jacky, I'm like, they could grab 3 New Japan stars, like really hot New Japan stars, like a Will Ospreay, or bring back Tanahashi for a match, or maybe Okada finally gets a match in AEW. You bring back 3 of those guys to All Out, you can sell out the United. You could probably sell out the United Center or even get close to it again. So it's just the Now Arena. I understand the history. I understand that All In was there the first time, the tradition. I understand that. But Tony Khan, you're a businessman as well. You're all about making that money. You can sell at the United Center again for All Out. It's going to sell out. Do not sell yourself short anymore. You're killing us here by going back to Hoffman Estates.
I see Floyd in the chat. I understand the nostalgia, but like we need the space. Think
of the fans
we
after.
need the amount of tickets that are gonna like fly off the shelves to like, to scalpers first, like please give us a chance to get in the building.
Senator, I don't know what you have a problem with Toronto for. Like I don't get it. But I want it's going to be Chicago. I'm fine with it being Chicago. I just want it to be at the United Center or Allstate Arena. Whatever. Just do not go back to the Now Arena. Wherever
we need to go, we're going to try to make it happen. So Elite POV,
Floyd, okay,
Phil,
hang on,
Ant,
big timeout. Floyd, tell me what happens to you after the arena. Okay, you've been there clearly. Floyd, how hard is it for you to leave the arena? I want to know, or do you have like a secret, if you have a secret way of how you get back to a hotel wherever you stay after the arena or after the show's done?
He can't drop his secrets here.
You DM, not here, you DM me or Jax. DM us and let us know, because I've read too many damn horror stories about leaving that arena after an event and how impossible it is to get an Uber, and that there's no hotel there's 2 hotels within the vicinity, and if you're not staying there, you're traveling 30 minutes out to go to a hotel.
No, if he has the insider connects, then he's got to like do that to us on the L. That's it.
You drive.
He always drives. All right. Okay.
You know what?
All right.
I'll buy you a basket. Buy you a fruit basket. There you go. Good for you, Floyd. Oh, you drive. Oh, you got us. He'll give us a ride. There you go. We're literally looking at a hotel that's like a mile walk. So if you just give us a ride to that hotel, if it's at Hoffman Estates.
Floyd, we will literally jump in the trunk.
Yeah.
All right. Like fit as many of us as you possibly can.
You can put
I don't need to breathe. I'm small.
You don't need to waste gas. Put that shit in neutral and I'll push it the whole way.
It's so stupid.
I know. It makes no sense. I could just walk. Anyways, we'll move on here.
Get it to Dynamite.
Yeah, AEW Dynamite, incredible episode. I thought it was a great episode. A lot of hype. We had a lot of cool matches. We had Jericho and Ortiz with the hair versus hair, Wardlow and the 20 plaintiffs, Dax and Ospreay, which is probably the match of the night, obviously, Paige and Miro, Baker and Tony Storm, and the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express in the main event. Wow, I don't even know where you want to start that. I know where you want to start. But where do you want to start? If that makes sense.
We can go in order. That makes sense.
So we open up Dynamite with Jericho and Ortiz in a hair versus hair match. Why? Okay, I don't want this to sound negative, but this was a bad booking choice. Do you know the level of comedy you could have done if Jericho had been bald from this match. You could have done so much.
Man.
You could have done you could have brought back the pylon, and you could have worn that as like a wizard hat. You know what I mean? Or like find a wizard hat similar, because he keeps calling himself a wizard. You could have had him wear a wig and says he magically grew hair because he's a wizard. You know, have a different wig every week. They could have done so much, but Jericho's ego obviously is not shrunken enough for him to shave his damn head. So clearly they went with poor Ortiz, man. My man looks weird bald. He looks so weird. I thought he was going to look good. Poor guy.
Nah. He's gonna look better bald overall than Jericho. Yeah, absolutely. He's younger. He's got a better face for it. I think, and his hair is gonna grow back more consistently than Jericho's. Let's be honest. Look at Jericho's hair pattern going on already.
My man,
his hair would have grown back weird.
You're literally, he's literally me at 23. Just embrace the baldness and shave it already, man. Like, I got rid of this thing a whole long time ago. It's gone. Just get rid of it.
There's a couple other underlying things during this match that kind of like threw me. When Ortiz came out, please tell me like if you noticed this too. I thought Ortiz came out by himself. And then all of a sudden Eddie Kingston was at ringside.
I didn't even see that. 100%.
Did you see Eddie Kingston come out?
No.
Because I was having a moment. I was like, I know that this dude did not come out by himself again. When there's like a whole troop of people with the JAS at ringside, I'm like, you came out again by yourself, no crew, baby faces have no friends, hashtag it again. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? And then Eddie's there. I'm like, okay, well, at least Eddie's there. But again, outnumbered. Then there was the moment where Eddie knocked freaking Jericho into next week. And then I had freaking hope that maybe I'm like, oh man, Eddie knocked Jericho out. This is going to be it.
That was
freaking
Jericho's.
I was like, Ortiz is going to get the pin. Maybe Jericho is going to get his head shaved. No, to no avail. Didn't get to see it.
I like the spin they did on it.
They did. And then the freaking face crack of the century. You have, and I'm like watching on my laptop. So I have this tiny little screen going. And I'm like, why is Fuego, of all people, why is Fuego coming out here and getting involved?
That confused the hell out of me.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, in 0.5 minutes, I'm like, okay, let's see. Rationalizing, well, you know, you had 2.0 join up with the JAS, and, you know, I wouldn't have seen that coming. So maybe Fuego joining up makes a little bit of sense. And then I'm like, but then again, wait a minute, that's not Fuego. Oh shit, that's Sammy Guevara. And then it kind of made sense in the moment. I think it was the right choice to get Sammy back with Jericho overall, because after everything that happened with the crowd just flat out saying F Sammy and Ty Conti all day, every day, they kind of had to throw him back with Jericho. I think it was the wise decision to do it.
It's smart. I understand the whole thing of it. I don't necessarily like it, but I understand it.
Where else do you think they were going to go with
just
Sammy?
Stay
overall?
off TV for a bit and then come back, and hopefully the crowd forgot about it. But yeah,
I don't think they were going to. I don't think they were going to forget.
But it's smart too if you think about it too. Sammy was never kicked out of the inner circle. He left, so it left that door open. So that's the long-term booking right there. So smart for AW to do that. We know they do that a lot. Yeah, I thought that Eddie Kingston spot where he hit the elbow I thought it was going to be it. There's big pop, and God, and when it didn't happen, I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh, why didn't they end the match on that? Why couldn't you end the match on that? That would have been like the greatest opening to Dynamite ever, but no. But I love how they spinned it. You know, they had Ortiz cut his hair out of frustration and cut himself, which helped.
Let's
when
say
he
was bleeding.
Because then he starts yelling blood and guts. Like, you know, like his, you know, the best. But he's like, blood and guts. Blood and guts. So, you know, they're hyping up their blood and guts match at the end of the month in Detroit. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
still looks weird.
If JAS happens to go over in that match, you will see a whole other side of me my soul will leave my body. I will probably grow like an additional 2 heads or something like that. Fire will be coming out of my mouth.
Oh.
I will rage because at that point it's just like,
You're a wizard. Harry.
why the hell do you hate PNP so much? Like, why? Just don't do it, please, God. My God.
I
Let
wouldn't
them
say
win.
they would go over. Just I can't see JS going over twice in 2 matches with this team. And I don't know where Santana is. Haven't really heard anything or read anything about him. Maybe he was homesick or he was busy. I don't know. I don't think he's purposely not there. So, I don't know. I'm sure he'll be back next week, to be honest. But this is what I don't like. Is this should have been the last scene of the JAS we should have seen for the rest of the night. But no. Jericho and his massive ass ego had to show up again. And I was extremely happy for I loved the segment until Jericho came out. When Moxley and Tanahashi had their stare down, fantastic. It was a great face-off. Moxley cut an insane promo. My man is prepped for that intern title run, and we say it all the freaking time how much the guy is just he's a world champion, right? He's just so good. But like great face-off. He said what he needed to say, calling himself that he's gonna be the new ace. For those of you who don't know, Tanahashi's basically like the John Cena of New Japan. He's the ace. He's fantastic. Just wait till you see it. Like this match is gonna be insane at the pay-per-view. But why did Jericho have to come out after? It was so perfectly booked up until that point. Then it became an overproduced mess. It was just I hated everything after that. Jericho does not need to be there. He does not need to put himself into this match. And look what happens. There's this beatdown and everything. And, they book a match between him and some New Japan guys at Forbidden Door. I'm like, none of these guys have to do with the world title picture. So why the fuck are they all out here? What is the point of this? Why didn't they come out during the Jericho thing in the beginning of the match or the beginning of the night? Why wasn't that all done there? Or throw up a match graphic saying Jericho's, or, a backstage segment of Jericho calling them out and then booking this match. Why did it need to ruin this world title face-off?
Yeah.
It made no sense.
It got super convoluted at that point. And especially for somebody like myself who, admittedly, I say this all the time, this is becoming very educational for me because I don't have a lot of experience with the New Japan product. So I'm getting introduced to a lot of these faces and names for the first time. Obviously, I know the name, Tanahashi. Have I had a lot of experience in watching his matches? Have I had a lot of experience to know storylines and context? No. So these are my introductions. So I'm over here ooh, a face-off. I'm going to get some context to some of their history. And then boom, here comes freaking Judas playing. And I'm like, why the hell are you coming out and interrupting a segment where I could be potentially getting context for this match going into Forbidden Door?
Yeah. I was ready for Tanahashi to say something cool. I know he has got broken English, but, you can tell with the Jericho shut up thing, which was hilarious. Love that. But,
yeah.
He's just so unneeded. And shout outs to Issa. Sorry, first shout outs to Issa in the chat. Hi, Issa. And then saying that Santana is the heavyweight world champion in a company here in, I'm guessing PR means Providence.
No, it means Puerto Rico, Kyle. Get with it.
Oh, he's down in Puerto Rico?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought he was the States. My bad. He's going back and forth a lot. Okay, that's cool. Thanks for that. Appreciate that, Issa. Thank you. How are you? Hello. Welcome in. But, that whole segment, great until Jericho showed up. And then it was just overproduced nonsense that didn't need to happen. I'm just okay, why does Jericho have to stick himself into everything here? Yeah, we get it. You mentioned it 300 times on commentary that you've done a round in New Japan. We know, okay? You say it enough times that we know, Jericho. We get it, my dude. You did it was just unneeded. They could have ended off with them just two talking. Wait, okay, look, Issa's crying because I said Providence. I'm sorry. I don't know.
He's Canadian. Everything is a province or like whatever.
It's not the same. Jacky R. Anyways, there's just, mess. Still hype
Yeah.
for Moxley and Tanahashi, but screw you, Jericho. Anyways, let's go to something else that was a little bit of a mess. We got Wardlow versus 20 plaintiffs. Plaintiffs. They could have just called it security guards, but 20 plaintiffs because of the whole Mark Sterling thing. Okay. I was laughing the whole match. Laughing. And they did it.
And that's what you were supposed to do. It was supposed to be fun.
I was laughing, and they did a few times. They did what I thought he was going to do. Like I said it last week's podcast. I'm like, but watch, he's going to come out. He's going to pin 10 people at once. He did it. Pinned 5 people at once a few times. It was just apparently all the guys that they used are all from like the same indie company. They literally just cleared out the locker room and fed him to Wardlow. And my man Wardlow was so gassed after. If you saw the zoom in on his eyes, he had like stars in his eyes. He had like watery eyes, like he from deadlifting and power bombing like a bunch of 150 plus pound guys at once.
Like most people would be gassed after lifting like 2 or 3 guys. My dude went in on like 20 guys, lifting them, throwing them, freaking slamming them all over the place. Ant's commentary on it was pretty funny throughout the night because he did make a good observation where he was like, to technically pin somebody, their shoulders have to be to the mat. And some of the guys were on their bellies, technically. Like,
it didn't bother me.
He's like, how does it count as a pin?
I'm like, this isn't a real match.
It's meant to be fun. You can't get hung up on the technicalities of it or anything like that. Otherwise, the match would take freaking 50 years, and who the hell wants that? It was fun. It was really hilarious, and of course the whole goal was to, watch Mark Sterling get the shit kicked out of him at the end, and watch him get power bombed, and that's
Now move on to Scorpio Sky. Enough of this goofing around crap. Move on.
No
to
more
Scorpio
squashes.
Sky.
No more nothing. Let's get him into a real feud.
We don't need him in squash matches anymore. We get it. We understand. Don't know if his new theme is hitting with me though. Kind of like his old theme. That new theme threw me right off. I was like, I like the other one. I like the other one.
I didn't mind it, but I think it's just one of those things where an entrance sometimes becomes so synonymous with the wrestler that when they get a new one, it just takes a little time to grow on you.
I hope so. I really do hope so. It looks like he's moving on towards the TNT belt, which is great. I'm excited for that. So we'll see where that leads to. We had, we'll talk about it. Why not? It's our thumbnail. I know Jacky's going to want to talk about this match, but we literally had this. If this doesn't get 5 stars, like Meltzer just didn't watch the match. I'm telling you right now, Meltzer didn't watch the match if he doesn't give this 5 stars. Plain and simple. Because this was a 5-star classic. Dax Harwood against Will Ospreay, which I'm loving more Will Ospreay on Dynamite. My God, does this man ever need to be here full time? As soon as your New Japan run's done, buddy, get over to Dynamite because it just seems like he can have more of these classics with a lot of people and a lot, not taking away anything from Dax. He's talented. But there's a lot more talented people on the roster that he can have more of these matches with. So, when your New Japan run's done, get your ass over here. This match was so good, and I'm gonna let Jacky take the floor here because obviously FTR are her boys, and I can sit here and talk about how much Will Ospreay was my boy, and Dax lost, screw you. But Jacky, here's the floor for you.
Oh my God, the match was unbelievable. This again was one of my first introductions to Will Ospreay as a wrestler, and Will Ospreay did kill it in this match. It was a great first singles introduction in AEW for him, and I'm sure that most people would be like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because he is a very hyped person coming into the company. But I'm an FTR girl, and I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. I had a lot to say last night in terms of the fact that I have been uh, singing Dax's praises since June of 2020. I've been on this damn train, and I have had a lot of arguments with people who have blatantly told me that Dax wasn't shit, that he wasn't a body guy, that he wasn't charismatic, that he wasn't capable of carrying matches because he, quote, was a guy that looked like he had never stepped in a gym in his life. And
Has no one ever seen Stone Cold Steve Austin? Like,
yeah, really, just like unbelievable, like horrible body shaming type comments and things like that, that he would never be the guy, so to speak. And I have, vehemently argued that he was somebody to keep their eyes on because he is an incredibly passionate and incredibly talented person who was capable of working these kinds of matches had he been given the platform, obviously primarily in a tag team format. But now here in 2022, we're seeing him given the platform to work these kinds of singles matches. And lo and behold, given the platform, he's been knocking it out of the park, not just against anybody, but against some top tier talent. And every time that he's been given the ball, he's been running with it time and time again. I had the pleasure of, actually having freaking tequila shots with him in Massachusetts over the weekend, and sitting and talking wrestling with him for almost for almost an hour. And nobody in this industry is more passionate about what he does than freaking Dax Harwood. Just an incredible freaking human being. I love that he's getting these opportunities, and I love that people are now coming on board the bandwagon of saying that he is now a top contender for Wrestler of the Year, consistently having these incredible matches. And if Meltzer, not that anybody on the FTR side of things is chasing these stars, but if Meltzer is out there giving stars out and he's not giving this match 5 stars, I don't know what he's smoking. But in my book,
watching if he did.
In my book, it was 5 stars, and I would gladly go back and have another freaking round of tequila shots with Dax and say that was a fucking banger match, incredible freaking match. And I'm just like, as a fan who has been on this ride for, and has believed in him and has known he's been this talented, I'm so freaking proud of him. And I've known it. I'm so glad other people are coming around to see it.
Amazing.
Freaking bravo. Unbelievable.
Count me in
I could go on
shots.
forever, but it unbelievable.
Oh God.
Match of the night. That's
it was so
freaking
good.
crazy.
It was so good.
So
good. Like, the one spot that still gets me, those chops in the corner, like the double chop, like the first chop was loud, and then you hit Ospreay again, and like, oh.
It's like the chops go straight through your freaking body to the other side. It's crazy.
But insane match. Really good. And what we got after, interesting. So not only that we got, looks like a preview we're going to get for Forbidden Door, I bet it's probably going to be Roppongi Vice against Aussie Open maybe. We'll see. But for sure we are getting, it's announced, for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship that Ospreay just won, Ospreay against Orange Cassidy, the returning Orange Cassidy. And oh my God, are we ever going to get, speaking of 5 stars, that match is going to be so good. So good. And if you guys are still not on the Orange Cassidy bandwagon, I don't know why you're not. I understand if it's not your cup of tea, but my God, the man can wrestle. Just go back and watch him against Pac at the first Revolution. You'll know why that this match is going to be so good.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that live. I'm going to be there live for that. Cannot wait. A week Sunday, I will be in Chicago for that. So pumped. But what else we're going to get at Forbidden Door is the Fatal 4-Way match for the brand new AEW title, the All Atlantic. Still gets me. The All Atlantic title. But Ethan Page representing Canada. Yeah, my boy Ethan. Representing Ontario specifically. That's where I'm from. Facing off against Miro representing Bulgaria. It sucks because I knew like Miro was gonna win.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit there and say, nah, you know what? I'm gonna hold out for my boy Ethan Page. But no. I knew Miro was gonna win. Great match still. Fantastic match. Ethan Page is my man Ethan Page doesn't get the love I think he deserves. And yeah, Kim right on cue, Kim in the chat. Ethan Page.
Yeah, it just like she just like appeared out of nowhere.
You lied. You said you were sleeping. You lied, Kim. Anyways.
She was. She woke up just for the occasion.
Yeah, she heard it. She like woke up from her pillow like someone's talking about Ethan Page. But anyways, man cuts an insane promo. Incredible promo. If you guys go back and watch the promo hype video for that match specifically, oh my god, was that ever good. He kills it when he's like really intense and into his promos. Ethan Page deserves a massive push. And I know eventually, I think that's what they're going to go to. I think eventually Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are going to have a match for that TNT belt. So maybe. Because now it kind of looks like Wardlow's going to win it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, do we have, like, you know, Wardlow go against Scorpio and then lose, and then we get Ethan versus Scorpio? I don't know. Like, all I know is in that Road to promo, Ethan dropped that line about, like, what did he say? Like, I heard that Jesus wears an Ethan Page on his chain or something like that. As Scorpio's face, like he lowered the sunglasses in the back, like with his jaw dropped. That shit popped me so hard.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, good match.
It was good. I just wonder, like, I just don't want like Ethan Page to end up kind of like. I hate to like use this example because it's like I feel bad because it's like two of your guys. But like, is he gonna end up in that kind of Sean Spears situation where he's always gonna be that guy that no, I don't mean it like in a bad way.
Hand, yeah.
No, but like the guy who is relied upon to deliver the good, you know, the solid opponent, to deliver the good promo, but they're never gonna, you know, put him as the guy to kind of be in the position to kind of like give him the ball and run with it. But
hopefully
in his defense, he's only 32 years old. Yeah. He's got a longer career ahead of him. So I hope that they don't put him in that box.
And man, Miro cut an insane promo too. Like the whole God thing he's doing is fantastic. Love all of that shit. Miro just he nails all his promos as well, and he's killing it. So I really want Miro to be the first one to win this title. By the way, like I'm rooting for Miro here. So far, Pac is qualified. Miro is qualified.
No.
The winner of it's going to be Malachi because of the whole situation with CMLL. So Pac, Miro, Malachi, and whoever the New Japan contender is, which I don't think is going to be someone from New Japan, which kind of sucks. They're kind of like outnumbered in this situation. I don't know why they just didn't do 2 AEW stars and 2 New Japan stars. You know what I mean? I think that would have made a little bit more sense. Like, why is there 3? I know it's an AEW title, but still, it's an AEW versus New Japan pay-per-view. Why didn't they do 2 AEW versus 2 New Japan?
Yeah, I see Floyd just dropped it in the chat. Isn't Ishii one of the guys that's on the New Japan side? Because once again, Excalibur did his like auctioneer style. Like, I'm just gonna rattle off a bunch of important information.
I don't know.
And
it's
drop
not written
all the
here in my show notes.
Cause he read it too fast. I tried, Kyle. I tried really hard.
Anyways, I think it's gonna be Miro. I think Miro's winning his belt. Plain and simple. It makes sense that it would be hilarious. I think I saw someone say it or write it on Twitter. Someone's like, he's gonna win it and change one of the flags on the belt to the Bulgarian flag. They already have like a second belt made, or all the flags are the Bulgarian flag, and he changed it to the all Bulgarian championship.
That sounds like a Maggie thing.
Yeah,
and I would not be surprised if she was the one that said.
Yo, she's going for Miro too. So me and Maggie on the Miro train for that belt.
Of course, she would say that. She's literally from Bulgaria.
I know. What if she liked Pac more? Wow, Jacky, assumptions here.
No, she's very pro Miro, but Malachi is my pick.
We'll see.
I'm just saying.
We'll see, y'all. We'll see. But we had Britt Baker against Toni Storm. You know, Let's talk about the women's division in general here. What I got a bone to pick, and I tweeted it out, and I'm seriously leaning more on this, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's frustrating me, but it's frustrating me. Why does Jade Cargill defend and promote the TBS belt on TNT on Rampage on Fridays and not on TBS on Wednesdays? There's your second women's match / segment is with the TBS champion on TBS, not TNT. Why is the TNT title why is the TNT belt more on TBS and the TBS belt more on TNT? Does no one see this? Like, what? Do the networks not go, what?
It is very confusing. It is.
I'm just like, what is happening here? Isn't like TBS going like, yo, where's our champion? Why are they on TNT? And TNT going like, where's the TNT belt? So people watching on TNT know that they have a show on TBS. I just like.
Oh my god.
We need more one woman segment or match on Dynamite.
We need a woman's match in hour 1.
Yes, 8:30.
Please.
I'm gonna make a change.org petition. Whatever word comes first. And I'm gonna make sure it says AW women's match for the 8:30 time slot. And I bet you that gets a shit ton of signatures. Anyways, Britt Baker faced Toni Storm, which is a great match. Excellent match.
Rematch of their Owen Hart tournament match.
And, mainly, we saw what happened after was like the reasoning behind this. We had the AW Women's World Champion come out, Thunder Rosa, stare down with Toni Storm, and we're getting it. A Forbidden Door. Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa for the AW Women's World Championship.
Yeah, we thought we weren't getting a women's match for Forbidden Door because we're like, oh, well, New Japan doesn't have a women's roster, so we're probably just going to get no women's match for Forbidden Door, and they found a way. So kudos to them for finding a way to work a women's match into the card, even if there is no New Japan influence in it. But we get Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa, which should be a banger match.
Yes, if it is marketing, sure, I'll agree with you. I'm just saying, give us the TBS champion on TBS. Shouldn't be that hard. You fit her in there. Get us. There's your 8:30 slot. Make it the TBS women's title to make her do something. Anyways, the match happening at Forbidden Door, great. We're getting a title match, a women's match on a New Japan show technically, which is crazy because that never happens. Because New Japan Pro Wrestling does not have any women's wrestlers, so that's cool to see. I'm excited for that.
Babyface versus babyface.
I just want them to have a promo next week. Have them, talk shit and promote the match. You know what I mean? Or if you have Thunder Rosa have a match next week in preparation for the match or for the title match, have Hater on commentary. Do something. Get me hyped for this match somehow. Next week. Or if you're going to give us like a documentary style promo package, give me something next week to care about the title match even more. I care about the title match. Do something for me next week. That's going to make me care even more. That's all I ask. Anyways. Main event was... before we get to the main event, got to talk about this interesting development with the New Japan IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. So, the rumors are that it's going to be a triple threat match, which it's still kind of leaning like it's going to be. But they threw a wrench out that kind of makes you think, well, what if they don't do it? So, Hangman... Did he have a match? No, he didn't have a match. He came out...
No, he just did kind of
that's right. He said because he wanted Okada, who's the champion. Okada loses the belt. Unfortunately, Okada won't be at Forbidden Door. Well, we don't know. But he won't be in a scheduled match at Forbidden Door because of he's having a kid on the way, or his wife's about to have a kid. Good for him.
I thought he already had the kid.
I'm reading reports that the kid's not born yet, so who knows? Anyways, that match not happening. So Jay White won the World Heavyweight title belt. So now he's challenging Jay White. Adam Cole comes out. It's like, no, like you're not facing Jay White. Like it's a pipe dream, Hangman. Like you know, tough luck, basically like tough shit. Like Jay White's not gonna fight or not gonna face you for the world title. And out comes Jay White. Adam Cole introduces him because basically, you know, he thinks it's gonna be Adam Cole versus Jay White, Bullet Air versus Bullet Club to be like a fun promotional kind of match. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're gonna make this all about Bullet Club versus Bullet Club and Bullet Era, or Bullet Era, Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era. Yes, you're getting your E-Fed stuff mixed up.
Anyways, so Jay White attacks Hangman, but grabs the mic and says to Adam Cole that he's not going to face him either. And he kind of just left Adam Cole like, well, what the hell, man? So I think we're getting a triple threat match. I think that's what they're leaning towards. But then, like, while Jay White was saying that, and I was saying this to Jacky while we were watching, I'm like, I thought for a split second he was going to, like, say he wants Kenny Omega. And I would have lost my absolute shit. I would have just lost my absolute crap. But it looks like most likely we're going to get a triple threat match for the IWGP Heavyweight Belt. And my God, it's going to be one hell of a triple threat match between Hangman, Adam Cole, and Jay White. Oh, my God.
Be insane. I just want to shout out Adam Cole, though. Like, his expressions and his mannerisms, like,
So good.
As Jay White is, like, you know, attacking Hangman, he's like, no, you're not getting your match. And you have Adam Cole out there like, yeah, that's right. You're the man. Like, he's like hyping him the whole time, thinking like, yes, this is going exactly according to my plan. He's like, actually, on second thought, you're not getting your match either. And the way that his face just falls, and he's very attention to detail, and it's like the single brain cell that's just floating around in his skull just like explodes. And he's like, wait a minute, that's not how we practice. And this is not how I practice this scene going in my head. What the hell are you doing? Like, he's just very much in the moment. And he just sells everything down to the final detail. So I'm like, I give him a lot of credit. I know people give him a lot of shit. I don't know what it is with like people suddenly like joining like the Adam Cole, like, we're over you train. Like, there's like this little sector of people on wrestling Twitter that are
the people
like,
that have their, you know, they get the piss in their cornflakes. Gotcha.
Yes, the piss in their cornflakes that suddenly they're like, oh no, we're like freaking over Adam Cole. Like, oh, get the hell out of here. Like, you know, I'm like, I think he's very, very much in tune with his character and what he's doing. He's selling it very well. So kudos to Adam Cole. I love what he does. And if we're going to get a triple threat, I'm all here for it. Bring it on.
Screw the croutons, man.
Yeah, Adam, yes. Many freaking Adams in this damn, and the Adams in the chat, Adams in the segment. Yes, he did nail the segment. Adams everywhere.
And in our main event of Dynamite, Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express in a ladder match. Hopefully, Jungle Boy's okay. There were reports after that Tony Khan came out and there was a stretcher involved. Hopefully it was just an actor selling. But Bucks are the tag team champions again, 2-time tag team champions. I know Jacky's not a fan of this, but it looks like maybe they're leaning towards an FTR. Young Bucks for the tag team titles.
I'll clarify that, but go ahead.
Because Dax with his tweet of LO fucking L.
Fucking L.
When they won the belts. And then after, we got the big turn. Christian turned on Jungle Boy. People have been calling this and waiting for this to happen. It's finally happened. Hits a concerto as well, which is a nice callback. And all right, so we're eventually going to get a Christian versus Jungle Boy one-on-one feud, which is great. Love to see it. But Jacky, how you feeling about them Buckies winning tag team belts? And maybe we're heading towards FTR. Maybe not yet. I would imagine All
No.
Out's the target date.
Yeah, maybe not yet. Not yet.
Because they're still Battle of the Belts in August, so who knows?
Yeah.
I highly doubt that match will be on a tape show.
For starters, I want to say that the match overall, it was a great main event. It's a freaking ladder match. I talked to a friend of mine earlier. I said, if you do anything on your wrestling bucket list, you have to watch a wrestling show with Kyle, because Kyle, like, you pop me every freaking time. As soon as the Bucks are coming out, the first thing out of Kyle's mouth is hysterical laughter, and he says, "Why are there tables everywhere around the ring?"
Seriously.
He's like, I don't understand. It's a ladder match. Why are there freaking tables assembled everywhere? It makes sense if the tables are under the ring for people to pull them out. He's like, but this is not a tables match. Why the hell are there tables everywhere, like, ready to go?
That makes sense. Like, this ain't a TLC match.
This ain't a freaking TLC
We
match.
literally got TLC by the end of the night, but, like, we
Which
had
you
tables, ladders, and chairs, but...
You expect it to happen in the course of the
fuck
match,
are they
but for
laid
them
out?
to all be like, they're like, guys, we made it easy.
They're, like,
for
in
you.
between the ladders. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
And
Why?
I would never have thought of it until you said it. I'm like, you know what? That's a freaking good point. Why are they out there? You know it's going to be freaking pandemonium. And that's what you expect out of a Bucks Jurassic Express match. The match is chaos. 450 splashes, moonsaults. Everybody's freaking crashing through tables. Luchasaurus, God rest his soul, wins with a freaking, very just... Yes, we said it was the most graceful fall through 4 tables you've ever seen.
It like
in your
folded
life.
like if you pressed your hand on a cake. That's how he went through the tables.
That's very, very well done. Nick Jackson got his freaking nose smashed in. He was all, his face was all bloodied up. The match was great. There was the rumors going into it that the Hardys were intended to be the winners of that match, and then after, what happened with Jeff, then the rumor started that it was going to be the Bucks going into, to take the titles. So I want to say, I do love the Young Bucks. I don't want that to get lost in the shuffle here. The Young Bucks are a huge part of what brought me to AEW in the first place. I've been with AEW since its inception, and the Young Bucks are part of what started AEW to begin with. So yes, I do love the Young Bucks. If I were to try to show somebody who had never watched wrestling before a match that I thought would entertain them, if they had no clue what wrestling was, I would show them a Young Bucks match. Absolutely. Because I know that would be something that they would go, ooh, like, I can't believe, like, they did that. Like, that's freaking crazy. Sure. What's killing me in this stage of the game with the tag team division is you have the rankings. The rankings that they so strongly pushed in the beginning, and that they said, oh, we're going to make this a sports-based thing, and rankings are going to be so important. And all bias aside, because had it been any other team in this position, I would have pushed for them too. FTR has been in the number 1 position for 7 freaking weeks.
April.
7 freaking weeks. They weren't on the fucking pay-per-view, my dudes. Like, you had the number 3 and number 5 team, I think it was, in the pay-per-view. They've been consistently passed up and whatever. I'm like, okay, when is it going to happen? Are they even going to be involved in these matches at all? Nothing. And then you get the Hardys and the Bucks put into this match. And I'm like, they're not even involved in this match. So where do the rankings come into play? Where, like, make it make sense. Then on top of that, you have the Bucks, who literally just had the titles and lost them at All Out, which is in September. So they just lost it in the summer. So they just had them. And then you have all this momentum behind FTR also. Their first reign came at a time where they didn't have a lot of momentum behind them. The reign was less than 60 days. Their freaking number 1 contendership is at a point where it's lasting longer than their actual reign did. Make it make sense.
Yep.
Make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. And like I said, if it was Lucha Brothers in that spot If it was Private Party in that spot, if it was literally any other team in that spot, I would be making the same argument. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's FTR. It has to do with continuity and trying to make it make any type of sense. So it has nothing to do with the fact that it's the Bucks. I love the Bucks. I think that they were great tag team champions. Their reign was one of the longer ones in terms of the tag team championships. They're not bad champions. I think that they'll do great things, with the belts, but overall it was just like because even if theoretically they go to All Out and they have this, you're not going to do two-time tag team championships back to back, because then the fans are going to be like, I hate it because you have people holding the belts hostage and you have all these other teams that never got a stab at it that aren't going to get a chance. So I feel like it killed the momentum. It felt weird. I don't know.
They need to do something that kind of, I don't think it's completely killed. I think they need to do something to kind of jumpstart it a little bit to keep it going, because they are going to head towards, I'm assuming that's the All Out match. Like, that's All Out's a big pay-per-view. It's like it's almost like, I know it's tough to tell which one's the WrestleMania, but like All Out's a really significant pay-per-view because it has a lot of meaning behind it.
It is.
Young Bucks versus FTR is a significant match because they never had, this dates back to their first match together where there wasn't a live crowd for it. And it deserves a big live crowd. So that's why I go back to earlier in the show where I'm like, you need United Center, because if you're going to have a match like this, you deserve better arena than the Sears Center. No offense. You deserve a big, giant arena for that match.
Yes.
But
especially because it's the rubber match. It's match number 3.
So I think a way to kind of jumpstart the momentum is start doing stuff with the Ring of Honor tag belts. They've held those since beating the Briscoes and really haven't defended them a lot. Maybe once since winning those. Start putting them on. You've done the world title on TV. You've done the You've done the Pure Championship. Like, have them defend the Ring of Honor tag team belts and do some stuff with the Ring of Honor belts. They're just sitting there. I know that they're in the process of getting the TV thing going, right? And I imagine they'll probably put a team over that's going to Ring of Honor TV. They're going to have a pay-per-view in July, which I imagine they're going to defend the belts at that pay-per-view in July. I believe it's Death Before Dishonor. I think that's the next pay-per-view. That's what it's going to be called. So you got to do something to jumpstart to keep the momentum going, because these guys are hella over right now, more than they already are. Like, every time they come out, the crowd goes absolutely ape shit. Like, absolutely ape shit. You need to ride this wave. You need to make, like, they deserve a full year of this wave, not just like 6 months. A full year of this momentum. Continue it. You need to jumpstart it a little bit here. You need to start doing things, or else if you let them get lost in the shuffle, it's gonna wear off, and they don't deserve that. Especially after, again, they make a big deal of the rankings, they post it every week. Then why haven't they gotten a title shot if they've been number 1 since April? It's now almost July. Why haven't they got a title? And you've had a pay-per-view since then. That's what's even worse. So
yeah.
And I don't like sitting here and shitting on Tony Khan for stuff, but Tony Khan, you need to be called out for this. You got to do something here. Don't keep them at number 1 if you're not going to do anything with them. So Dax's LO tweet is justified by 300,000%, because that is literally an LOL moment, thinking, if you look at this from a big picture point about the Bucks winning the tag team belts. Good for them. And if you're a fan of the Young Bucks and you're happy about this, you have all the rights in the world to be extremely happy that they're 2-time AEW tag team champions. They're the champs now. They're one of the best teams in the world right now. Good. You can be happy. I'm just saying, booking-wise, poor decision to do this, especially when the Bucks were not even number 1 at all in the last 3 months. So why are they tag team champions?
Yeah, and I'm like, and make no mistake about it, like Kyle said, it's like, if for the people that are huge Bucks fans, because there are a lot of people that are like over the moon about this, and by all means, I am happy for you, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't want anybody out here trying to rain on my parade either. You know what I mean? Like, by all means, enjoy it. Like, the Bucks are a great tag team. They've done a lot for tag team wrestling. They work hard, they bust their asses, and deservedly so. And this company doesn't happen without them and their contributions and stuff like that. So I would never take that away from them.
Yeah.
But it's just for argument's sake in terms of continuity and stuff like that. It's just kind of like we're just asking, make it make sense. That's it.
Yeah. So great episode of Dynamite. Either way, still fun, entertaining. Can't wait for next week.
Absolutely.
The go home show for Forbidden Door. Rampage this week looks cool. Can't wait to see what Rampage is all about. Dante Martin facing off against John Moxley should be a banger. Jade Cargill, Will Nightingale. Love that she got a little segment on Dynamite. So she's going to face Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship on TNT. Max Caster and the Gun Club against Roughing It, which is what are they called? The Bear Country and Leon Ruff. Call her Roughing It. Okay. I seen Max Caster's rap already, guys. You guys are going to be hella entertained when you hear that. And then Darby Allin against Bobby Fish, which should still be an excellent match. So Rampage looks pretty cool this Friday, still in its usual time slot. And then Forbidden Door, so far we have Moxley and Tanahashi for the interim AW World title. Jay White against to be announced, could be two opponents for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Ospreay and Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Championship. Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm for the AW Women's World title. Pac versus Miro versus most likely Malachi versus a New Japan person. And then Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki versus Shota Umino, who is the son of Red Shoes, the famous referee in New Japan, which is awesome to see. And then Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta. So that should be a really cool 6-man tag match. And I bet you Red Shoes will be refereeing that match. And I cannot wait to see that. That's going to be amazing. But we're here at the end of the podcast, guys. So thank you guys again for tuning into another episode of Elite POV. We are live every Thursday here on Twitch, which I'm going to have to talk to Jacky about this after. I think we may expand. So, guys, keep an eye on Elite POV. Maybe we'll expand. We could be live in multiple places at once. Who knows? But keep an eye. But if you guys want to support the show, there are many ways to support the show. Not only liking our tweets and stuff like that, you can follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Elite POV, on TikTok at Elite POV Clips. We also have a Patreon page. Shoutouts to you wonderful patrons out there. We love you guys so effing much. Thank you guys for supporting the show, guys. $1, $5, $10, and $20 tiers. Thank you to all our tier subscribers. I know we are slacking on the content. Please don't hate us. We are trying our best right now. A lot of us have some busy things going on in our lives, especially a lot of stuff on the other two hosts of the show. So thank you guys for holding out and still supporting the show. We also have a merch page, you guys, if you want to support the show that way. A lot of cool merch there. Pop the Boys, Babyfaces Have No Friends. A lot of cool other merch on there too, and including the Pride shirts that are still up on the shop for you guys, and all the proceeds for those.
It's still Pride Month.
All the proceeds for those do go to Nate's Surgery Fund, which is Jacky's brother. So thank you guys all who've supported and have bought those shirts and bought all the other merch on our website. Thank you guys all for that. We're also available to listen to on audio platforms, guys. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up Elite POV. You will find us there. But thank you guys all for tuning in. It's been another great episode, Jacky. The dynamic duo of Elite POV at it again. We'll be back next week. But, folks, the duo is going to be a trio next week, because returning to the show is none other than Anthony DeStefano. He's coming back next week for our we're going to have our Forbidden Door predictions episode of Elite POV. So make sure you guys tune in to Elite POV next week, and we'll be back. And we'll see you next week. I have no really closing remarks. Jacky, do you got anything you want to plug away here?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
You why not?
Hey.
Been doing a little bit of collaborating lately, so gonna have some fun with Fightful Overbooked. Little bit of some after show going on with coexisting with Rob and Maggie on Fightful Select tomorrow.
Love you guys.
We love you, Rob and Maggie.
Rob, you sexy motherfucker.
I know it's
Lost
gonna
when I say
be it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like I said, had a great weekend. I just want to give a shout out to Floyd Johnson, who was in the chat earlier. Don't know if he's still here. Floyd had the best fucking weekend ever. I'm going to try to get as many of those clips together as possible. Maybe we'll throw some of those on Patreon. That should be fun. It's a little bit of our FTR, our little FTR weekend from Webster, Mass. And yeah, so that was great. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24, and you can follow me on Instagram at JacksTheDraw POV. But yeah, that's all I gotta. I think that's really all I have to plug.
Awesome. So guys, we'll see you back here.
Oh, I was gonna say thanks for being with us at a later time.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was my fault. I take full responsibility for that. But thank you guys all for tuning in to another episode of Elite POV. And remember, you don't need a hat to be a cowboy.